Guild Wars 2 is one of those games that doesn't just give you content, it gives you a world that grows with you. And if you're new, or maybe returning after a break, the big question always comes up. Which expansion should I buy? Do I need them all? Where do I even start? Here's the thing. Guild Wars 2 isn't like other MMOs where old expansions fade into ghost towns. Tyria is alive and every expansion still matters, but that also makes choosing a little overwhelming. So instead of just listing them in release order, I want to walk you through this buyer's guide in a different way. We're going to look at expansions by vibe, by the kind of player you are, and the kind of joy you're chasing. Whether you're here for story, exploration, builds, or cozy customization, there is an expansion that fits your playstyle. I'm Oreo, you're watching the main quest, and let's just jump right in. Before we even talk about expansions, let's start with the foundation, the base game. Guild Wars 2's core experience is completely free, and it's honestly one of the best ways to figure out if Tyria feels like home to you. You can level all the way to level 80 without spending a dime, explore the original maps, and get a real sense of the game's rhythm before committing to anything. Of course, free accounts do come with a few restrictions, things like limited chat options, fewer character slots, and trial versions of certain features, but none of that stops you from experiencing the heart of Guild Wars 2. You'll get to dive into the personal story, join dynamic events, and even try out a raptor mount for a short time. It's like a little taste test of the expansion systems, just enough to show you what's possible. The important thing to know is that expansions are designed for level 80 content. You don't need to rush into buying them right away. In fact, I think it's better to take your time with the free game first, learn your class, explore Tyria, and see if the vibe clicks with you. If you fall in love with the world, then expansions become the natural next step, not a gamble. So my advice is to treat the base game as your trial run. If you're curious but cautious, this is your chance to explore without pressure. And if you find yourself smiling at the little details, the way events chain together, the way the world feels alive, then you'll know you're ready to invest in the bigger adventures. Expansions are dessert, but the base game is the appetizer, and it's surprisingly filling. Guild Wars 2's expansions aren't just content drops, they're personality matches. Each one shines brightest depending on the kind of player you are. So instead of thinking in terms of release dates, let's think in terms of vibes. Who are you in Tyria? What kind of joy are you chasing? If you're an explorer, you're the type who gets lost in maps, climbs every cliff, and treats traversal like a puzzle. You'll care most about expansions that unlock mounts, gliding, and vertical worlds. For you, the thrill is in movement and discovery. If you're a storyteller, you're here for emotional arcs, cinematic quests, and the feeling of being part of a living saga. Expansions with rich narrative threads, legendary characters, and deep lore will be your bread and butter. You want to feel the heartbeat of Tyria through its stories. If you're a builder, you love tinkering with classes, experimenting with elite specs, and finding the perfect build for raids or open world metas. Expansions that add new weapons, specs, and systems are your playground. And if you're a collector, you're chasing legendaries, housing, and cozy customization. The expansion that let you decorate, upgrade, and make Tyria feel like yours. Most players are a mix of these archetypes, but knowing which vibe speaks loudest to you will make choosing expansions way easier. Okay, now that you know your vibe, let's match you with the right expansion. Think of this like a dating profile for Tyria's adventures. Each expansion has its own personality, and the trick is to finding the one that clicks with yours. If you're an explorer, you'll fall in love with Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire. Heart of Thorns gives you gliding and jungle maps that feel like vertical puzzles, while Path of Fire unlocks the full mount system, Raptor, Skimmer, Jackal, and more. Together, they're basically the ultimate travel package. If movement and discovery are your joy, start here. If you're a storyteller, End of Dragons is your chapter. It takes you to Cantha, blends gorgeous maps with fishing, skiffs, and a Jadebot companion, and delivers one of the most emotionally resonant arcs in the game. And if you want the freshest narrative beats, Visions of Eternity brings elite specs back alongside some of the best open world metas Guild Wars 2 has seen in years. If you're a builder, you'll want expansions that expand your toolkit. Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, and End of Dragons each add 9 elite specs, while Seekers of the Obscure introduces Weapon Master training, letting you mix and match weapons across builds. And if you're a collector, Janther Wilds is your playground. Player housing, the upgraded Warclaw mount, and cozy customization galore. Each expansion has something unique, but once you know your vibe, the choice becomes way less overwhelming. Now, expansions aren't the only chapters in Guild Wars 2's story. Between the big releases, ArenaNet dropped what are called Living World seasons. Think of these as the bonus novels that fill in the gaps between the main books. They're smaller in scale than expansions, but they carry some of the most important story beats and even add entire maps and mounts. Season 1 is free and acts as a bridge between the core game and Heart of Thorns. After that, Season 2 through 5 are separate purchases in the Gem Store. And here's the thing, these aren't just filler. Season 3 and 4 especially are packed with gorgeous maps, emotional storylines, and even unlocks like the Roller Beetle and Skyscale. If you're a lore lover or completionist, these seasons are essential to understanding the Elder Dragon Saga. Speaking of the Elder Dragon Saga, there is also the Elder Dragon Saga Complete Collection. It bundles Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, End of Dragons, and all the paid Living World seasons into one package. It's a lot up front, but when it goes on sale, it's one of the best deals in MMO history. You'll never have to worry about missing a chapter. That said, don't feel pressured to buy them right away. If you're just dipping your toes in, expansions alone will give you plenty to do. Living Worlds are there when you're ready to dive deeper into Tyria's lore. Think of them as optional side novels. You don't need them to enjoy the main story, but if you're the kind of player who wants every thread tied together, they're waiting for you. So let's talk about money and timing, because expansions aren't cheap if you grab them all at once. The truth is, you don't need to buy everything right away. Guild Wars 2 is built to be savored, and you literally can't play all the expansions at the same time. Think of it like a bookshelf. You don't need to own every book before you've even finished the first chapter. If you're brand new, the best deal is the Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire bundle. It's 2 expansions for the price of 1, and it unlocks the core systems that make Guild Wars 2 feel magical. Gliding, mounts, and elite specs. That bundle alone will keep you busy for months, maybe years depending on how you play. After that, branch out based on your vibe. If you want fishing and Cantha's beautiful atmosphere, grab End of Dragons. If you want a flying mount without the grind, Secrets of the Obscure is your shortcut. If housing and cozy customization call to you, Janther Wilds is the one. And if you're chasing elite specs and the freshest story, Visions of Eternity is the expansion to beat. One last tip, expansions go on sale regularly. Often during big Steam or ArenaNet events. Waiting for those discounts can save you half the price, and there is no rush. You'll never miss out by pacing yourself. Buy what excites you, wait for sales when you can, and let Tyria unfold at your own rhythm. That's the real buyer's guide. Joy first, wallet second. At the end of the day, Guild Wars 2 isn't about owning every expansion. It's about finding the ones that spark joy for you. Tyria is a living world, and each chapter adds something unique. Whether it's mounts, stories, specs, or cozy customization, you don't need to rush, and you don't need to spend a fortune all at once. Let the game unfold at your pace. Start with the bundle that gives you the basics, then follow your vibe. If exploration excites you, chase the expansions with movement systems. If story is your heartbeat, grab the ones with rich narrative arcs. If you're a builder or collector, there are expansions tailored to your tinkering and decorating dreams. There is no wrong path, only the one that feels right for you. And remember, expansions go on sale often. Waiting for these discounts is smart, and it means you can enjoy the journey without stressing your wallet. Guild Wars 2 is built to be savored, not rushed. Every expansion is still relevant, every map still alive, and every choice you make adds to your personal adventure.